Yeah, we've been here before. We do tend to start pretty slowly, and a few of the series we've had since I've been involved. Obviously, batting has got a lot to do with confidence. Guys have been out of playing Test cricket for a few months, and I think a combination of that and obviously the conditions over here and a pretty decent Sri Lankan spin attack, led to a pretty disappointing performance from our point of view. Yeah, I think they've in Sri Lanka, and I don't. It isn't an excuse, but they've tried everything to obviously make conditions not as similar to the wickets that we're going to play on as possible. So even the practice pitches over here have been hard and pretty true. The practice game we had, the wicket was a really good wicket. So you can't complain. The facilities have been good, but we had an inkling that the Test pitches are going to really turn, and you can see by them opening with two spinners that it wasn't a normal day one wicket. It was obviously probably a day three, day two, day three wicket. So we have, in practices we've tried to throw on the outfield. We've tried to scuff up areas and try and simulate things, but you can't simulate the pressure and the all the things that go around a Test match. So we've tried, but it really is up to us doing it out in the middle. I think going into that last innings and you're 360 behind, I think the guys are, mentally you're hoping that someone puts their hand up and actually plays a good knock. I think we were trying to just have a better performance. I think we try to win the second half of the Test, and that was going to be a real big ask. And I think the game was sort of gone really, and so mentally it was probably the biggest test. The batting collapses are actually pretty common in the subcontinent. It's not something that is unusual. I think even probably to tell a story was their batters actually struggled on that pitch against our spinners as well, and they've played here since they're very comfortable in their own conditions. So it was really tough, and the collapses I think are pretty inevitable, but I think it's the big partnerships that we're really looking for. So when two guys do get in, that they make it count, and that's what's going to be the difference playing in the subcontinent. Two guys just never got in. We have got players that are used to these conditions and that have performed here, and I think it'll just take someone to put their hand up. Hopefully everyone is taking that responsibility, and when you've got someone leading you and everyone was watching, then it makes everyone relax and realize we can play. We just never got going. We and to their credit, they never gave us an inch, but I do think that if you look at the history of the subcontinent, you're going to get collapses with the ball spinning. It's just never really going to get away from that. It's just getting those big partnerships in between. Well, for obviously being over here is not just the cricket; it's a different environment, and being in the subcontinent it's actually a wonderful experience. You get to see a totally different part of the world, and I think that from a cricketing point of view. Guys have just got to clear their heads really and really start believing in themselves. I do believe that batting especially is such a confidence game. Guys haven't played for a while, and I just think it's really about them. We've just tried to really boost them. I think we played spin very well in the last series. We played against Nathan Lyon, and the wickets amazingly in South Africa actually turned. We played Nathan Lyon, who I think is one of the best spinners in the world, very well. We played Ashwin at Centurion Park, which looked like Madras, and that spun, and we played him brilliantly as well. So it's just really reminding them of how good they really are, and just to go out, clear your head. Whatever has happened in this Test is gone. Try and learn from a few things, but really trust that they're good enough, and get them to just go out and trust themselves when they're out in the middle. All the work that they have done, you've got to go and just believe that it's going to work in the middle. I think that sometimes you've got too many things going through your head when the bowler's running up, and we're just trying to clear their heads and get them to believe in themselves. So pretty much what we have been. I think batting is very individualistic as well. So from our point of view, I go to each individual, see what they want to do. There's one or two things that they are already telling me that they would like to do, which is what I would expect. A lot of it comes from them, and then we facilitate that. So there's we've got one of the best analysts in the world, and we've gone through, and in my experience as well, it's the difference is really small. The end result is very big. 270 runs seems a long, a big gap, but there were small parts of the game there where if we had got them right, the gap would have been a lot closer. So, and the same with individuals. It's just maybe one or two little things in your head or technically that we can correct, and a lot of that actually comes from the players. So there are a few individual things that we have already discussed, and then it's just a matter of making sure they're confident they've covered it in the practice, and then just going out and playing. I have actually faced him, so and I quite enjoyed facing spin, and I just think, he's a very clever bowler. He doesn't spin every ball. He's got incredible control, and I think the general rule is we're just trying to make decisions as late as we can, play the ball as late as you can. If anything, maybe favour the back foot rather than pushing at him. So there's a few sort of mental things and technical things that we're trying to do. But let's face it, he gives you nothing. They're very good bowlers, and you've got to give them a lot of credit as well for the victory.